Today we have America's supercar, the Chevrolet Corvette Stingray. A couple days after Chevrolet dropped this car off, my wife told me, you have to get rid of that car, because even though this has been out for a few years, this car gets so much attention. People coming to my house, people at work checking it out, people at the gas station, the grocery store, everybody wants to look at this car, and I understand why. It is an absolute blast. Today we're going to take a look at the exterior, the interior, get it out on the road for a test drive, and check everything out with this Corvette. Let's get started. All right, y'all, let's take a look at this $100,000 Corvette convertible. So this one comes with the Z51 package as well, and this is the 3LT, so top tier. Now the Corvette still gets a similar shape and design as far as the former generations, minus this rear engine layout, but the headlights look similar, this whole pointy front end looks similar, and I think this car looks like an absolute rocket here. You've got some good airflow, good ventilation up here. I'll show you what's under that hood right there, but it is not the engine. Then you've got these iconic lights, these signature lights coming down, and you're gonna get a full LED headlight up front. Look at the size of the hip on this rear end. Plus you've got this massive vent right here because we've got this rear mid-engine design for the engine airflow there. You're gonna get 20-inch wheels in the back, 19-inch wheels up front with this red mist metallic tint coat. This paint is absolutely beautiful. I hope the camera is doing it justice, but you got black wheels. You can get different color Brembo brake calipers as well. Black accents overall and a lower lip spoiler. This is part of the Z51 package. This is a convertible. I'll show you how that works in a little bit. You can get this retractable hardtop, or you can get a basic coupe as well. So like you typically see with the Corvette, you've got the same similar shaped taillights, Corvette badging. You can get a different wingback here if you want, but I like this glossy black one. Plus you've got the Stingray right there. I think that looks pretty nice. The engine is back there for this first time rear mid-engine design since 2020, and a quad exhaust back here. Now, of course, this Corvette can come in a convertible, and that's what we have right here. It's a retractable hardtop. You can still get a coupe, and that actually changes the way you see the engine. It's harder to get to the engine here. You've got to lift up this convertible portion, and then you've got like 18 screws on a heat shield to actually see the engine. But you can see more in the coupe model, and you can actually use your key fob to change this into a convertible. Boom, just like that. You just can't lift it up with your key fob. You gotta do that inside. Now the Corvette actually gives us a surprising amount of trunk space, and there's more than just this back area right here. The shaping is gonna be a little bit different between the coupe and the convertible, but this is actually surprisingly deep. It's not terribly wide, but you could fit a couple golf bags back there, no problem. For example, there's my pretty large backpack. You could fit a couple of those, a couple of suitcases. Now the retractable hardtop, you know, the convertible makes this a little bit different. The coupe that has the removable hard piece has space to be able to fit that in here. So that's one reason the shaping's a little bit different too. And a nice little touch is you get a couple of little cargo net hooks right there. Then in the front, there's even more space right here. Look at this. This is enough to throw some groceries or another bag or backpack. And the cool thing is this one even has a 12-volt power outlet. Now, it has a light here as well. You've got a couple more little tie-down areas or hooks like you do in the trunk, the other trunk. So overall, both sides combined get a little over 12 cubic feet total. Not bad for a car like this. Now, of course, we're gonna get the smart key from Chevrolet. You've got all your typical buttons in here. You can open up the front or the back lift back, or even lower the convertible area. You just can't lift it. And you get remote start on here too. Just listen to that. And the way this works, so the door handle's essentially hidden. There's just a little space right up under here. There's a little handle that you can grab, and boom, you've got access. And this entire interior is so nice. It is leather wrapped here. Again, remember, we have the 3LT. So we've got the top trim level here. We've still got leather seats. You've got some carbon fiber in here. These performance seats look so nice. You've got perforation in here because we've got ventilation. You've got great bolsters. And even though these seats are performance oriented, they're still fairly comfortable. Now, initially, I thought that this area right here in the thigh was really stiff, but I've driven this over 400 miles and been very comfortable. You've got 12-way total power adjustment. You've got your height, your tilt, 4-way lumbar support, which is great in this car. The other thing is that this steering wheel is power tilt and telescoping as well. Not something I necessarily expected, but you've also got memory settings over here on the door too. 2-position memory settings right there. So this is, you're living large here. The steering wheel is also heated, and of course it is leather wrapped, and you've got this square design. So you've got the flat top, flat bottom, and it is actually really nice to hold on to. It's got a perfect amount of girth to it, and it's just so enjoyable in this car. The door panel is nice. We've got the Bose stereo in here. This is all nice material. You've got a tiny little section right here. I'd kind of like to be able to see maybe a bottle holder in here, but it's not a big deal. More buttons to open up your front or back trunk areas too. Right in here, you've got your parking brake, interior brightness, your head-up display controls, which I'll show you in a little bit. And these paddle shifters are metal and they feel really nice. The rest of the interior is just a nice place to be. You've got a good sized screen here. You've got a wild layout for all of your controls and a completely leather wrapped interior overall. Foot on the brake, push button start. There you go. One more thing about these seats is that they are heated and ventilated, and this strip over here has all those controls. So you got ventilation, heat. The heat for the steering wheel is right there. Otherwise, in here or on this area, it's all your climate control. So you've got fan speed, you've got division between your stuff, the driver up here, and the passenger all down here. So one thing I like is that some are buttons and some are like switches. So fan speed's a switch, temperature's a switch up here, temperature down here is also a switch. The rest are buttons. So you kind of know where you are. It's very overwhelming when you first get in here and see all these buttons, but it's a pretty simple layout. And this is all nice and soft and leather wrapped in here. A decent sized bottle holder as well, 2 of them. They don't really get in the way too much unless I'm doing my drive mode, which is this dial. So let's go ahead and change that. It's just a nice little knurled pattern right here. So on your display, at the bottom, you'll see sport. The exhaust kicks up. Let's go over again. We've got track. You can have your own customizable mode on here too. So I'm gonna move my way back. Tour mode. You can have your own My mode. And then you've even got weather mode. Gonna help you with your traction in here too. So it's pretty nice that you can go through all that. On the main screen, you can also see how everything is set up. And you can edit these too. And on top of that, you've got your own Z mode on the steering wheel, which you can have customized as well. Z mode, right there, push that, boom. It's nice to have a nice quick, you're driving, you can just hit that and have it however you want for a performance mode. We also have a fully digital display up here, and this can change depending on what mode you're in. As you can see, you've got information on the right that you can scroll through or move up and down, even a performance timer, some audio, maintenance, typical things that you see from Chevy. You can customize it a little bit as well too. Right in front of us, we've got our head-up display. You can move it up and down. You can change the way that it looks on here too. So this can also change with your drive mode. You can even change the brightness, so you can make it more or less bright. And I've actually been able to see this with polarized glasses better than what I can with most. This display right here gives us wireless, Apple CarPlay, and Android Auto. The volume knob's kind of in a weird spot, like from the driver's seat, you can't really even see it. It's just kind of behind the steering wheel and the home button. I think below would be a little bit better, but not a huge deal. It is an 8-inch screen, so it's not as big as some, but I mean, you're not going to be paying a whole lot of attention to it. Hit the home button, you can go back to Chevrolet's system right here. Very simple, easy layout. You have more customization settings on here too. One cool thing that I really want to show you, well, first of all, this has the Bose 14 speaker audio as well. We get that in this 3LT, and it sounds nice, especially in a car that's, you know, very compact in a coupe-like fashion. Now right here, a couple more things. You've got traction control, and this second button is an option. This is like $2,500 to be able to lift the height of the car, the front of the car. So you're not going to be scraping on curbs, going up driveways, things like that. And when you push that, you'll see it vehicle raising right there, and you can push a button to make it remember certain locations. So if you've got a steep driveway at home, you can activate that, and it will always raise when you go home, so that you're not going to be scraping your front end all the time. Another thing is you've got a button right there for a front camera. So you can see in front of the vehicle and kind of get a better idea, because this front end is low and it's hard to see as well. If you go into reverse, you still get a regular backup camera here too, with a couple different views you can look at. This push button shifter is kind of unique. You've got an M for manual mode, otherwise you basically pull back or push for park. Cup holders are good, you can cover those up. This center area is also all right too. It's a little bit better than I thought. You can fit a few items down in there. This will give us wireless charging. It's back here. Now if you got some shoulder problems, you might struggle a little bit getting in and out of here with your phone, but it is a wireless charger and a good spot to keep your phone out of sight, out of mind. Over here, center button right there, electronic opening, glove box, and it's actually good size, and it's got a nice like soft lined material. Overhead, these visors are darn tiny. Where I sit, I basically can't see because of the visors. It's a little bit annoying, but you've got garage controls right up here. Got your other light controls, LED lighting in here. This mirror right now is just a regular mirror, but wait till I put the top up. You got a switch right here. Let's go ahead and lift that up. Takes a second for it to engage. It's gonna give you a message on there, and you can kind of watch everything going on right here because we have a digital camera up here. Just wait. Boom. Look at that. Windows will roll up, and I'll show you one of my favorite things here. Not this, but you've got a regular automatic dimming mirror or a camera mirror, but one of my favorite things is this button right here. You push that and you've got a rear window that can go down. If you don't want the top down, but you still want some airflow without these windows open, that back window is actually really nice. All right, y'all, we are behind the wheel of the Corvette. Let me get on it a tiny bit and then we'll talk about the engine specs. We're just in tour mode right now, but this thing still handles so well. We'll go through the different drive modes, get on it, talk about the powertrain. Gets you up to speed in a hurry. And I've got that back window down, so hopefully you can hear some of the exhaust here coming through. Now, 6.2 liter naturally aspirated, direct injected V8. This Z51 gives us a little extra here, a little extra power and torque, 495 horsepower, 470 pound-feet of torque. And it does not come with a manual. There's no option for manual. You get an 8-speed dual clutch, and I gotta tell you that dual clutch has been spot on. It's been so quick, it's been so fun, and I haven't had any complaints with it. It's just lightning fast, even with the paddle shifters here. And I've also got to say that the drive modes influence you significantly. And what I mean by that is tour mode is fairly relaxed. It's actually comfortable for the most part. You can turn this, get into sport mode, and it's gonna ramp up the sound, the suspension a little bit, even the brake feel. And if you go to track mode or your Z mode or your customizable mode, it's gonna put things on another level. Track mode is extremely stiff. That is definitely one thing. So something to keep in mind. Put us back in sport mode. Just smooth and powerful, and you've got Z mode right here that you can quickly get to. The drive modes can be, you know, a little slow, a little annoying, but it's still something you can do there. The steering even changes depending on your drive mode, and it's actually very responsive. Steering, suspension. Another thing with the Z51, we've got an electronic locking differential and a performance suspension. So you've got a performance traction on here too, and I really haven't had any traction complaints at all. Let me put us in Z mode. So the engine sound should be louder, steering is stiff, but the suspension isn't all the way stiffened up. Oh my goodness. It is just so exhilarating and so fun. Even the paddles in here. The paddles work well. So I'm still in Z mode, but I can just use the paddles whenever I want or push the M. Let's downshift. We're in 5th gear right now. It's pretty quick. Let's go to 3rd. Pretty quick. Little pedal. Let off. You get some snap, crackle, pop back there. Gives you a little shift light on there too, because when you get up into those RPMs, it's going to let you know. Take us out of Z mode. I'm going to roll that window up. Now, of course, this isn't going to be super quiet. It's not meant to be quiet, but compared to some vehicles, it's really not that bad as a convertible and a daily driver. For road noise, this is a very rough textured surface. Pretty much all the roads around here now have this on them except the interstate. So it's kind of annoying as far as that goes, but you've got that engine sound, which is just phenomenal. The interaction in the car is good too. This is very clever. This whole strip right here to free up space here. Screen is easily to reach. You've got all your controls on the steering wheel. Paddles work well, good visibility. I mean, from a day-to-day driving aspect, it does a very nice job, and it's comfortable for the most part. It can be smooth in tour mode, which is what we're in right now, and it's not terribly inefficient, if that's something that matters to you. But on a day-to-day driving aspect, this car is just fantastic. Every time you get in here, you just want to put the pedal down because it sounds amazing, it feels amazing, and it's smooth. It's not a jerky transmission, a pain to drive. It's actually so enjoyable. All right, we've got our drive mode ramped up again. And the brakes on here just grab instantly. It's so intoxicating. This car is just phenomenal. Now, to wrap things up on this 2023 Corvette Stingray Convertible, I absolutely love this car. It is fun to drive. It's still fairly comfortable. You've got good features. You've got storage in the front, storage in the back, and it handles phenomenally. It's powerful. It sounds good, and it is just so iconic. Now, unfortunately, I can't compare the driving characteristics compared to the previous generation Corvettes, but this mid-engine model is phenomenal with its driving characteristics. I hope you enjoyed this video, maybe learned something about this Vette, and just got to see this car in action. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it and have a great day.